God, I offer you my studies, thoughts, words, and actions of this day. And let in my mind and strengthen the memories, guide me to do what's right. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. I am Puneet on behalf of my class 11C with profound happiness and pleasure. Welcome, Honorable MD Sir, Madam Principal, teachers, and my dear students to this auspicious day of annual function. The topic of our annual function is National Education Day. The nation celebrates its 15th National Education Day on the birth anniversary of first Education Minister of India, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. But before anything else, prayer is key to all the treasures. Every great moment of God can be traced to a kneeling factor. In the name of the God, the gracious, the merciful, the beneficent, the master of the day of judgment, please join your hands and close your eyes and get ready for a Hindi prayer. ए मालिक तेरे बंदे हम.
Please take your position. Join your hands.
For the thought of the day. The thought of the day is education imparted by heart can bring revolution in the society. I repeat my thought, education imparted by heart can bring revolution in the society. Thank you. The novel is more of a whisper, whereas stage is a shout. Now, some students of our class will re-enter drama on the life of Maulana Azad, portraying his contribution to the freedom struggle and nation building.
Maulana Azad is addressing school children in a school. He is in the front, addressing and elucidating the importance of education.
My dear students, education is the key to our freedom. We must try to become well-educated individuals who can lead the country to independence, Will you all accompany us to fulfill this goal for the nation?
Congress leaders meeting. Nehru, Patel, Gandhi ji join Maulana.
Lana Azad, your words on education inspire many.
Thank you, Nehru. It has all came by being in the company of intellectuals like you. Our unity and determination will lead us to the goal of freedom.
You are right, Maulana Azad. The people are rising against the British. The nation understands what they are doing in the country for filling up their coffers.
Indeed, Azad, your work in preserving our culture through your writing is invaluable.
Thank you, Gandhiji. But we still have an ardent task waiting ahead for us. We will have to pacify Jinnah. He is adamant on his two-nation theory after the Lahore Resolution.
You should have a discussion with him about what he wants and what he thinks for the same.
Yes, sure I will.
Scene 3. Meeting with Jinnah. Maulana Azad goes to meet up with Muhammad Ali Jinnah and is discussing about his intentions and ideas of two-nation theory.
Azad, you know, I believe in a separate nation for Muslim. It is important. I have come to believe that the Muslim of subcontinent should have their own state to provide a possible margination of state they may gain in an independent Hindu-Muslim state.
Jinnah, I respect your vision, but I believe in a united India where all religions coexist. I retort that you must think again as the entire nation will suffer under the demand of Muslim League.
Scene 4. Negotiations with British. In late March 1942, the British sent a mission under Senior Minister Stafford Cripps. The proposal was discussed with the Congress leaders in groups and individually. A British official meets Maulana.
We are willing to grant India a dominion status and we promise to hold elections, but with certain conditions. We want India's full support and cooperation in World War II. As you know that the war has been quite taxing for all involved nations.
I am afraid that we cannot compromise on our principles.
In August 1942, the Congress Working Committee, taking advantage of the government's weakness, made a call that unless the Quit India call was conceded, the Congress would escort to civil disobedience. Scene 5. Congress President Election. On 29 March 1946, the British Labour Party and PM Dominic Attlee sent a cabinet mission plan for talks with Indian leaders. They came up with a proposal to form a constituent assembly and an interim government. Mahatma Gandhi asked for immediate elections of the new Congress president. It was believed that the new Congress president would be the future contender for the post of the PM. Maulana Azad was the president at that time. He wants to contest elections but was refused to do so by Gandhiji. It was decided that the votes of Pradesh Committee will be considered. 12 out of 15 Pradesh Committee members took the name of Patel. Gandhiji openly had declared his intention of choosing Nehru as the first president of Congress and he asked Patel to move back. 2 members recommended the name of J.B. Kriplani and 2 did not express their opinion.
We have a crucial decision to make today. The time has come to select the leader who will lead our nation as the President of Congress. After due consideration, I have came to the decision that election of Sardar Patel would not be desirable in the existing circumstances. Taking all facts into consideration, it seems that Jawaharlal Nehru should be the new president.
Thank you, Maulana Azad, for faith in me.
We should unite behind Nehru for the greater good.
Lord Birwell invited Congress President Nehru to form an interim government on 1 August 1946. Nehru with his ministers took oath on 2 September 1946. According to Indian Independence Act 1947, the Indian Constituent Assembly elected Lord Mountbatten as the first Governor General of India on 15 August 1947. Mountbatten administered oath to Nehru and cabinet members. Maulana Azad was appointed as the Education Minister of independent India.
Thank you.
And everything dances. Get ready for a high-octane dose of classical dance. Should not be victory, but progress. A lively discussion is usually very helpful because the hottest fire makes the hardest steam. Now I would like to invite some students of our class for a group discussion to throw light on the works and life of Maulana Azad and background of education in India.
Activist, Islamic theologian, writer and senior leader of Indian National Congress. He was commonly remembered as Maulana Azad. The word Maulana is an honorific meaning our master. He had adopted Azad as his pen name.
His family moved to Calcutta from Saudi Arabia in 1890 and he was homeschooled by his father. Impressed by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and after coming into contact with several revolutionaries on his trip to Egypt, France, Turkey and Syria in 1908, he became a critic of British government. In 1912, he published a weekly Urdu language newspaper, Al-Hilal and later on Al-Balag in Calcutta, which got banned later on and he was arrested consequently. Upon his release, he joined Congress and galvanized Indian Muslims. He was actively involved in the Khilafat movement, which defended the Ottoman Sultan as the Caliph and enlisted the support of Gandhiji. In 1923, he became the youngest Congress president and was involved in the Salt March and other disobedience campaigns, and was appointed as the president of INC again from 1940 to 46.
He was vehemently against the two-nation theory of Jinnah. After independence, he was appointed as the first education minister. Under his leadership, Ministry of Education established IIT in 1951 and UGC in 1953. He was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1992 posthumously. As the first education minister, he emphasized on educating rural poor and girls. As the chairman of Central Advisory Board of Education, he gave thrust to universal primary education, free and compulsory education to all children till 14 years.
Ministry of Human Resource Development recognizes his contribution by celebrating his birthday, 11th November, as National Education Day across India. This year, the theme is Innovative Learning for Sustainable Future. Before independence, the modern education was started under the Charter Act of 1813. Later on, in 1854, Wood's dispatch, which is called Magna Carta of English Education in India, was introduced. It regularized the education and various schools and universities were opened under it. The system of education completed the huge demand of clerks and administrative posts for the company.
To provide equitable access to quality education to all the students irrespective of their socio-economical background, gender, so there was need for an education policy.
In 1948, Central Advisory Board set up University Education Commission and Modalia Commission to report the condition of and improvements in education system. Kothari Commission 1964 to 66 was set up to advise the government on education policies.
Based on the recommendation, NEP 1968 was introduced comprising of three language formula. NEP 1986 replaced the earlier policies and focused on removing disparities and providing equal opportunities to SC, STs, etc. Child-central approach was introduced. Various teachers and district primary education programs like midday meal, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan were introduced.
Right to Education Act 2009 was introduced in 2009, making education free and compulsory for children of age 4 to 16 years. Education means realizing one's full potential, creating a fair and just society and advancing global progress. Goal for a sustainable development. Goal of 2030 Agenda aims and reflects to provide quality education for everyone by 2030.
To accomplish this challenging objective and other aim of sustainable development goals of Agenda 2030, a new education policy, National Education Policy, has been introduced, replacing the 1986 policy. It promotes innovation, critical thinking, holistic learning, sustainable practice, and developing a mindset for change which will revolutionize the education structure of the nation. Thank you.
I would like to invite Naina and Khwaish for a Hindi song.
Zuban sa
was listening to the ocean. I saw a face in the sand, but when I picked it up, then it vanished away from my hands. Down. I had a dream I was 7, climbing my way to a tree. I saw a piece of heaven waiting patient for me down. And I was running far away, but I ran off the wall someday. Nobody knows, nobody knows. I was dancing in the rain, I felt alive and I can't complain. But now take me home where I belong. I can't take it anymore.
I would like to invite myself to recite an inspiring English poem by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you and they make allowances for their doubting too. If you can wait and are not tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet, you don't look too good, not talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you're met with a triumph and a disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by the knaves to make trap by the fools. If you can watch the things you gave your life on to be broken, stood up and build them up with worn out tools. If you can talk with the crowds and keep your virtue. If you can walk with the kings, nor lose the common touch. If neither friends or foe hurt you, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with a 60-second worth of distance run. Yours the earth and everything that's in it. What's even more, you will be a man, my son.
हमें लिखना है पढ़ना है आगे ही बढ़ना है खाते हैं हम ये कसम
धनधूम 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 धनधूम
जो ज्ञान का रास्ता है शिक्षा का रास्ता है उसी पे चलेंगे हम
सत्य क्या है ये सुनो अपने मन में जान लो ज्ञान की जो रोशनी है उसमें ही तो जिंदगी है
पाओ शिक्षा पाओ भोजन स्वस्थ मन हो स्वस्थ जीवन
वो जो शिक्षा पा गया है वो ही आगे आ गया है
पाओ शिक्षा पाओ भोजन स्वस्थ मन हो
शपथ लो,
दिलिया झुकाएंगे हम, कुछ कर दिखाएंगे हम, पढ़ लिख के जो काज करेंगे सबके मन में राज करेंगे, राज करेंगे, राज करेंगे, समझो जरा।
जो रोशनी है उसमें ही तो जिंदगी है।
पाओ शिक्षा